Hey guys, welcome back to the investing world. In this video, I'll be doing a market recap to go over the top Forex pairs that I found interesting for the week of the 17th. The pairs that I will be going over today are EURGBP, CAD CHF, and GBPUSD. In the previous market recap that I've done, I did stocks. This week is Forex. So let's get into it. So our first pair will be EURGBP. Now I'm on the weekly time frame. This is the time frame that I usually always start off on. So we'll just go map where I saw a potential to go to the upside. So let's start right here. The reason why I picked this area for a long was because a lot of bottom wicks have touched this line, and typically when you have an area of congestion or a demand area, the market is gonna push to the upside once it fills the orders that's below those levels. Okay, so this was my line and I marked this. Okay, the reason why I marked this again is congestion and or demand area that market makers or the market will fill unfulfilled orders at. So if I go to right here, this right here, and go to a trend line, I can see that every time that I've touched this area, went up. Even though this was only in 1 week, right here, went up. We will be going up. Okay, doesn't have to hit 92.181 perfectly, but if we want to have an idea where our next resistance at is on a weekly, just pick a line where you see a sell-off at and just map it out. So it can be that line or that line. These are just wicks where we anticipate a sell-off at. Could be even lower. This was a favorite of mine this week, the top of money, a lot of money off of. So I will drop down to the daily time frame just to show you guys what I was seeing for day trades and or longs. Okay. Oops. Okay. So let me change and we will go drag our screen to the left just a bit. Okay, so right here I saw a channel from the 17th, which was sometime around here. Yeah, right here. This is a fallen channel actually from the beginning of January. But anyway, a falling channel from what, 97.59 to 88.656. This is a nice long right here at this bottom level because we had a reversal candle right here and we went about what, 400 pips. So depending on what your lot size was, you made good money. And if you, let's just say, held it for 2 days or a day, you'd have made a good 600 pips just off of this pair. Now, I was in and out of this trade with a couple $100, but this right here was a nice one. You can mark this right here. Just so you guys see, you can trade a EURGBP. Any GBP pairs, they are very volatile and they make good money to the long or downside. So my trades consisted of when we hit this bottom and then went right up here. So 600 pips depending on what you have, $300 to $600, just depending on what your lot size was. Okay, so this is the one that was my favorite pair. I think I traded it about 4 or 5 times. And just to get more in depth, we can map the supply and demand zone just to show you guys. Where are we gonna mark this one? So this right here, I would label as a demand zone. Up at the top, I will mark this line as a supply zone. Sorry. Right here, very important areas if you're day trading, intraday trading, whatever you want to call it. And if you're not familiar with what a supply and demand area is, just visit the tradingacademy7.com for my in-depth courses. Next up will be CAD CHF. Okay, now this is a funky mover. Okay, but as we can see, if we just used our demand area, we can see that there's a lot of bottom wicks and a lot of top wicks. It really sticks to within a range, but if you can catch it on the upside or downside or in the supply and demand area, just like any pair, you will make money on it. So let's just say that we wanted to mark this as a area that we wanted to watch. This on the weekly. Okay, this is the area that we want to watch, and I'm gonna go down here and mark this as our starting demand area. Okay, and we drop to, let's say, a 4-hour time frame. As you can see, typically this is not the best drawn demand zone, but typically, as you can see, once we got into this box area, we bottomed at some point. Okay, some point we bottomed. It doesn't have to always touch the bottom of these zones and or the top of a supply zone. It doesn't always have to. As long as it's in a box area, you're looking good if you mapped it out perfectly. So as we can see, once we got down here, kind of move back up. This is about about 400 pips. Not bad. Right here again. It's right here. About 800 pips. So this is a strong move right here. Okay, now this is where I took the position at. Is right down here at 69,580 and rolled it to this top right here, top of this candle, and got out. This is on a 4-hour, so this netted me somewhere around 600 pips, give or take. Okay, now I'm looking to watch this pair again, and as you can see, out of this demand zone, I'm looking for it to go to the upside. Okay, that's where I'm looking, and then I'm looking to ride it to about 74.63, and then what I want to do is once we get up there, I want to look to sell this. Okay, that's what I'm looking at. But just for the week of the 17th, this was a good money maker for me as well. You only need a couple trades. You don't have to be in 90 different trades the whole week. Just find a couple good pairs, and they can net you some good money, and then you move on. All right, my final pair is GBPUSD. Now, the pound is the strongest pair. This has crazy moves, crazy swings. Now, when I was looking at this, what I did, because it's a strong mover. It's a strong mover in every direction. So if I map this out right here, you can see that this right here is an area where typically if it goes up, it's gonna drop down at some point throughout that week. Now, the weekly time frame may not be the best time frame to look at GBPUSD on, so let's drop it down to the daily. May not be the best time. That's why, you have to kind of improvise when you're looking at your trading patterns. or your trading time frames. So I'll erase that supply area, and what we'll do is go like this. Hit this, get this trend line, and there's different techniques, different strategies to use. But what we can do is this. Just move this out the way. Okay. So we mark the trend line to show that each time, candlesticks touch this line or got close to it, we back up, so bounce back up. So as you can see, right here, and right here. Okay. Now what I'm doing is marking a resistance line somewhere around right here. Okay. You can just mark it, doesn't have to be perfect, whatever you guys want to use. Why? Because as you can see, this daily candle right here is an inverted hammer. Be careful on this because it needs to get back above this trend line. Okay, but the area that I started to play this one at was somewhere right here. Now, again, if you can catch these, they move very strong. I was in this for about a day. So we went from about 135,216 to somewhere 135,216 to about what? I got off somewhere at this candle, 131.36520. So this is about 1,000 pips. Again, if you play these right, 1,000 pips, you're looking good for the week. Again, you don't need 12 pairs, 90 pairs. Just find you a good few, and that's all that you need to make your weekly gains or weekly goals or daily goals or whatever it is. But thank you guys for watching. If you're interested in learning more about trading, check out my website at thetradingacademy7.com.